And you can talk. We can talk. Let's see here. Here we are at the exiting El Salvador, and we just now entered Honduras border. All three of us have completed the process. It looks like we have one more step to make as we're exiting the border process, and that's just a kind of a checks and balances, I think, with the paperwork, which should be coming up here shortly. We see the market on the right. This just routine border type atmosphere. All kinds of accessory sales going on here for border travelers coming in and going. And we are departing now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a few minutes and let everybody hear the border process from everybody's perspective if we can. And Armando most definitely had the key position of handling all our paperwork and all the transactions with the officials. So let's see here. It looks like we got a stop sign here. That will kind of, and then we may have one more. Okay. So Armando, if you'll talk a little bit about what you experienced in the exit and the enter from El Salvador to Honduras.
Yeah, just
and then
give me a moment because we're going to have to speak to the police here.
Okay.
We are just coming up to the police.
All right.
To give our documents to show that we've gone through the process, and then as we move forward, I'll speak. So,
okay.
Give me a moment, please.
All right.
I don't know if they're going to stop. I imagine they should stop us here. Oh, ¿podemos ir? ¿Necesitan documentos, alguna cosa? ¿No? ¿Qué necesitas? Tenemos aquí toda la información. ¿Eh? ¿Toda la información de los tres?
Oh.
Y también, no sé si quieren esto también o no. ¿Ok? ¿Ok? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? Ok, gracias. Esperemos que gustemos del país de ustedes. Va a ser bonito, es bonito Honduras. Ok, adiós.
Gracias, señor.
Just put on the map, sorry. Which way do we go here, do you know?
It says straight ahead. Straight ahead.
Where the guy's going there?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
We're going to go directly straight ahead for 24 miles.
Okay, give me a moment so I'll just put on my GPS working as well.
Okay.
So, from my perspective, the border crossing is just a lot of waiting for me. I'm not, Armando is doing the heavy lifting, discussing everything, and my job is more to just watch the bikes than to do anything else, because there is a tremendous amount of activity going on around the area. I'm just trying to make sure nobody walks off with anything.
Any of my stuff, especially.
Yes.
I don't know. Most of my stuff's fixing to break if it hadn't already, it seems like.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
all right. So, border crossings. Border crossings is probably one of the most fun things to do on this trip because you have the opportunity to actually speak to the locals. You know, most of the time we're riding a motorcycle, but in a border crossing you have to stop, get off a motorcycle, and interact with the locals. The first thing you'll notice when you arrive at the border crossing is they assume that you don't know what to do. So there's always people that come and help you. They are called the helpers. And of course, their idea is they will make some money out of it. So whenever we arrive at any border crossing, there are all these helpers that come and try to help you through the process. Of course, if you speak the language, you probably don't need the border crossing. So what we do before every border, we analyze a bit about people that have done the border crossing before, read a bit about it, and so we knew exactly how the border crossing was going to be, how much we had to pay, etc., etc. So the first thing there's always two things that you have to do in a border crossing. You have to go through the immigration, and that is the authorization of you as an individual, as a person. And that is usually showing your passport, and the passport sometimes needs a visa. In the cases of all the countries we are traveling, we're not requiring this visa. So both Portugal, my country, and the U.S., Dave's and both countries, do not require a visa. So all they do is they look at the passport, see that it is an official document from the country that has actually given it, and then they put a stamp that says you're either entering the country or exiting. In this specific case, we're exiting the country of El Salvador, so we went to the immigration. Now, interestingly enough, El Salvador does not have a visa for the passport, does not have a stamp for the passport. But anyway, the only country we will have that does not have passport where they put these stamps. Anyway, then we go to the other process, and this is by far the most complex process. It's the process of authorizing your motorcycles to entering a country and then authorizing the motorcycles to leave the country. The reason why they do this is because a lot of people, if they didn't do it, would actually bring a car from another country, and could be a stolen car and or a motorcycle, and they would sell it in this country. And therefore, there's an agreement between all the countries that this process of importing and exporting a car is a very detailed process, and that's the one that takes the longest. Now, the import process, what are the documents they need? First of all, they need your passport to say that, you as an individual can actually enter the country, and therefore the passport. The second document they need is your driver's license, because you are driving this vehicle or riding, in the case of a motorcycle. They need a driver's license. And the third document they need is the title or the registration document, and that basically says that the vehicle belongs to you. And so once you go with these three documents, the passport, the title or registration, and the driver's license, the big time that we spend, and we usually spend between about an hour at every border, is they've got to take your name, your vehicle information. What is the vehicle information? Is your number of the vehicle, your registration number, etc., etc. There's a lot of information, and that is what takes a lot of time, because they've got to put all of this into pieces of paper. In this specific case, in the entry of Honduras, she had to write 3 different papers, the same information, and then she had to put it into a computer. Don't ask me why they have to do this 4 times, but they did it, and that's what really takes a lot of time, and therefore that's what made me lose the bet, because I had a bet that I could do this faster than in 2 hours, but we couldn't. In the end, it took us 2 hours to do the El Salvador and the Honduras border. So, immigration, where you pass with your own document, and then with yourself and your passport, and then aduana or customs, where you pass your motorcycle. That's clear, Bo?
Yeah, that's wonderful. So just to recap just a little bit, so every border that we go to, we have to exit the country that we're leaving, which means we have to exit our person, and then we also have to exit our vehicle, which in our case is a motorcycle. And then we drive across a bridge, a river, a fence, a borderline of some sort, enter the next country, and then do the same thing. We have to supply our personal information, and then also our vehicle information. So wonderful. Now that particular border crossing, you said in there that it took us about 2 hours. So that's probably the longest we've done. But at any rate, we are now in Honduras. So we just all want to say, I want to say hello from Honduras. And Dave, do you have anything to add?
Nope, I'm good. Just want to say hello.
Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all very much. Enjoyable. Have a good ride.